Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Monday. It is the 20th day of May, 2013. Welcome to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now, because that's exactly what I am recommending that you do. You get rid of your medical doctor. You only use a medical doctor, someone with an MD after their name. If you need to go to the emergency room because something is broken or something is bleeding, if you have a nasty infectious disease that you just can't get on the other side of through any other means, or if you absolutely, positively, 100% need surgery, because that's the wheelhouse of the MD. That is their domain. For every other illness, for every single solitary other illness in the world, MD-directed medical treatments not only do not work, but they're the leading cause of death in the United States, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, and the single overlooked billion-pound gorilla in the middle of this country is the fact of the matter, the simple, remarkable fact that MD-directed medical treatment for chronic disease doesn't work. That's why we have a healthcare crisis. The medical system doesn't need to be tweaked. It doesn't need to be streamlined. It doesn't need to be controlled. It doesn't need to be regulated. It doesn't need to be unregulated. It needs to be abandoned because it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because MD-directed medical treatment is just one small piece of the pie of overall medical science. MDs don't own medicine. Medicine is a vast, undiscovered country, and the pieces of the country that have been discovered: homeopathy, acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, medical nutrition, naturopathic medicine, etc., etc., etc. There are hundreds of systems of medicine, hundreds of pieces of the pie of medical science, which are science-based and clinically verified, but the pharmaceutical industry has gone out of their way to keep all of those other systems of medicine underneath the heel of their jackboot. You have been told that I'm a quack. You've been told that the chiropractor delivers substandard, dangerous treatment and they should be avoided. The American Medical Association was found guilty in federal court of promoting a 10-year slander campaign, lying about the chiropractors to the public. They lied on purpose. Why? To corner the market. These are the type of people your MD affiliates themselves with. Oh, but Dr. Glidden, my MD is a really nice person. Well, he might be. There were some good Germans during World War II, you know, the people that didn't kill the Jews or gypsies. But you know what? They didn't do anything about it either. And this is the problem. Where I draw a line in the sand is right at the very beginning. Anybody who gains fame, who gains notoriety, who makes money, who generates and achieves social prominence from aligning themselves with the MD reductionistic allopathic medical field of medicine, they're right in my sights. And they are, in fact, guilty by association. It is guilt by association. They have chosen on purpose that nobody pulled a gun to their head and said, you must become an MD, you must go to MD medical school. They could have become osteopaths, they could have become homeopaths, they could have become herbalists, they could have become acupuncturists, they could have become naturopaths, they could have become homeopaths. All of these fields of medicine are there. They need students, by the way, they need money, they need income, they need more bodies, they need more research dollars. Your MD could have gone to naturopathic school, could have gone to chiropractic school, but they chose on purpose not to. They chose to align themselves with the medical profession, the MD medical profession, in order to gain social stigma and money, social prominence and money, social cachet and money. They have aligned themselves with the medical profession that is the leading cause of death in the United States, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, and under whose tutelage Alzheimer's, autism, high blood pressure skyrocketing, life expectancy getting less, infertility skyrocketing. For goodness sake, it's about time we all smelled the coffee and woke up. Truth is a troubling thing. Once you have experienced truth, you are in its velvet grasp forever. How's that MD-directed medical treatment working for you, folks? I did a webinar this morning. There was a woman on the webinar. She's had 3 joint replacement surgeries. She has chronic congestive heart failure. She has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, 3 knee replacements, joint replacements. I don't know exactly which joints were replaced, but they did it 2 or 3 times, and this passes for the standard of care, the best system of medicine in the world, and everybody genuflects at the altar. Oh, my new titanium joint, isn't it fantastic? Well, that's great, but everybody overlooks the simple fact that the reason that your joint failed in the first place is because you went to an MD. Isn't it their job to take control of your health? Isn't it their job to be in charge of your health care? Isn't it their job to keep you from getting sick? No, it's not. You think that it is, but it is not. It is the MD's job to manage your illness with drugs and surgery. Manage your illness with drugs and surgery. Look, drugs are like guns. I got no problem with drugs. Drugs are like a gun. It's not the gun. It's how it's used. I don't care what you say. It's not the gun. The gun has never killed anybody. It's the person behind the trigger. Guns are not animate objects. Drugs are not animate objects. They work, but depending upon how they're prescribed. And the way that MDs prescribe drugs, they're the leading cause of death in the United States. For goodness sake, snap out of it, smell the coffee, fire your MD. Cancel your comprehensive medical insurance. Cancel your comprehensive medical insurance by catastrophic instead, and use the money that you save to prop yourself up with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. There is a better way. But your pharmaceutical company don't want you to know about it, and your medical doctor has no clue about it whatsoever. Would you ask a member of the Ku Klux Klan a question about how to integrate African Americans into society? Is that a good person to go to for that advice? No! And by the way, Dr. Glidden stands corrected. That's right. Dr. Glidden stands corrected. When was the last time you heard a medical doctor say that they were wrong about something? Anybody? Anybody know a medical doctor that's ever admitted to being wrong about anything? I don't. Still waiting to meet number 1. Last year I said, I was comparing using the metaphors that I use. I said that, you wouldn't expect a Republican to be able to tell you about civil rights. Well, when, in a matter of fact, it's the Republicans who have been greater champions of civil rights than the Democrats. My head just exploded. Well, they were. Historically, they were. See that? I'm standing here. I stand corrected. I forget who it was that sent me that email. I meant to look that up and thank them publicly. Maybe I'll do that in the next segment. In any event, thank you for that. I stand corrected. And this is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We are a team. We are a coalition of human beings, a grassroots coalition of human beings who've had enough. For goodness sake, I'm not going to watch my kids get sick. I'm not going to watch my kids be born autistic. I'm not going to watch my parents sink into the oblivion and misery of Alzheimer's. I'm not going to watch my brothers and sisters and husbands and wives gain pound after pound after pound until they're 200 pounds overweight and then have the MDs tell them it's because their stomach's too big. I'm not going to stand by and let one more person in my life die from cancer when 200 microgram selenium supplement will reduce the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. Prostate cancer by 64%, lung cancer by 39%, and colon cancer by 67%. I think it's a good idea if you took selenium. We've had it. Enough is enough. MDs can go pound sand. They are useless unless we're talking surgery when it's necessary in trauma care. I got a bleeding, spurting artery. I've got a triple compound, quadruple mega fracture of my left femur. Oh boy, that hurts. Thank God for morphine. Thank God for the sterile technique. For goodness sake. I watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night. We were channel surfing. Watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night, and it was awesome. They inducted Hart into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They inducted Rush, finally, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was great. But what I'm looking at is all of these people whom I idolized when I was a kid. I mean, who didn't idolize a rock and roll star? Anybody? Anybody didn't idolize a rock and roll star? Of course, we all did. That's what you do with rock and roll stars. And I'm looking at all these people. I'm 54 years of age. You know, they're in their 60s, mid-60s, late 60s, and they look like crap. Every single one of them looked like crap. They're going to start dropping like flies. Randy Newman, I thought he was going to have a heart attack on the stage. For goodness sake. This is a problem. It is these people, we idolize them, and they are going down for the count. They're 2 steps away from the grave, and we could help them. They don't know what they don't know, and this is the problem. When you have all the money in the world, what do? You go to the best doctor in the world. That translates to the most expensive MD in the world. Well, what are you going to get? From the most expensive MD, you're going to get the standard operating stuff. You're going to get you're going to get MD-directed medical treatment no matter whom you go to. It's just going to cost you more in Los Angeles than it does in Detroit. So you don't get more the best for your money. You get the most expensive for your money. And if it's more expensive, it must be better, right? Well, no, it's not. I don't care how expensive the treatment is. If it's MD-directed reductionistic allopathic treatment for chronic disease, it won't work. So you can pay $20,000 for the knee replacement surgery that's going to fail, or you can pay $5,000 for the knee replacement surgery that's ultimately going to fail, and which doesn't get to the root cause of why you got knee arthritis in the first place. You can, belly on up to the 78-year age life expectancy mark if you want to by following the advice of your MD, or you can join us and get a clue. Anybody in this listening audience have a relationship with one of those rock and roll superstars? You send them to this radio station and I will change their life. And then maybe by ripple effect, we can start to change all of their lives, and we can enjoy their music for 30, 40, 50 more years and not be crying to ourselves watching them limp across the stage in their 60s. You've got to be kidding me. You're killing me. Medical mediocrity delivered by your MD is killing us. Enough is enough. May 20th, 2013. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Happy to be with you for another live presentation of Fire Your MD Now. Check out the website. You know the drill, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the longevity button, join Team Glidden, and let us show you how to lift yourself up into wealth while you're lifting your friends, family, church members, and community members into health and wealth. You don't know what you don't know, and you're going to love what you see when you join Team Glidden. The sky is the limit here, because everybody in this freaking world is suffering needlessly because everybody leans on the MD for ineffective medical treatment. Who needs your help? Go to the mall and throw a tennis ball. Whoever picks it up, they need your help. Do that 10 times a day. Do that once a day. Throw 5 tennis balls a day in the mall every day for a week, and you'll have 25 longevity customers. Well, maybe not 25. Let's say maybe 1/3 bite. You'll get 10 longevity customers, 8 longevity customers. This is how we're going to change the world, one person at a time. And look, if people don't believe what you say, people don't want to listen to what you say, people are in love with their MDs, well, it happens. We rattle our chains to celebrate our freedom. We love that Patriot Act, don't we? It keeps us so safe. Unbridled surveillance by the government. That's exactly what we need to be safe. So we bought that one hook, line, and sinker. People are stupid. It's human nature is that we just go about our business and we trust that stuff by authority is right for us, and I don't think so. People are getting fed up, especially people in their 30s and 40s. And 50s. People in their 60s and above, they're the Marcus Welby people, right? They grew up, in the generation that they grew up with, the MD was, God. And that's a tough nut to crack. People over 60, it's a tough nut to crack. You can do it, but there's 3 other generations looking for you. They're looking for you. So go out there and get them, and let us help you help them by doing an end around the pharmaceutical industry. We're not going to fight the MDs and Big Pharma. We're going to ignore them. Why? Because we can. Healing is easy, for goodness sake. Catch a clue at fireyourmdnow.com. Going right to the phones now. Shirley from California is back, calling me, I hope, with her update. Hey, Shirley, thanks for calling back. You are live.
taking my call. Yes, I'm calling back about the deep depression. It's starting to lift. I was actually smiling on Friday, and I had a good day yesterday. I've been taking the Sweeties 444.
Who the man? Who the man, Shirley?
Fruits again?
Shirley, who the man? Who the man? Come on, Shirley, give me some props. Who the man? How long have you been suffering with this depression nonsense? How long?
It's been about 4 to 5 years.
All right. So we're the dawn
out of it, but it's sure better.
Well, I get it. And this is how it works, by the way. You know, healing is a process, not an event. You know, it's like the dawn breaking. It doesn't all of a sudden, it's not noon. Boom. It happens gradually. And when the light first starts to break, those are some of the most magical moments. So be mindful. Hold on to them. The best is yet to come. So here's the deal. Most of the time, with a depressive event like the one that you described, the main culprit here is your body's inability to metabolize sugar. So what we're doing here for a couple of months is it's a two-pronged attack. We give your body the raw materials it needs to metabolize sugar appropriately. Well, it's a three-pronged attack. We clean up the diet so that we're stopping eating food that's gumming up the works, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, oil in a bottle, et cetera, et cetera. And we eliminate food that has extra sugar in it. So if it were me, given your experience of your life, I wouldn't even think about eating fruit until July. You know, I would use the 4th of July as my party for fruit reintroduction into my life. Between now and then, you can play around with, a couple of grapes or a couple of pieces of a banana or half an orange, but certainly no concentrated fruit juice, zero. No dried fruit like raisins or fruit leather or anything like that. I mean, just stay the heck away from that, Shirley, and molasses and honey and agave and all that crap, too. You can have stevia. You can have xylitol. You can have sorbitol, right? These are non-glycemic sweeteners, but really I would tread lightly in the wonderful world of concentrated fruit juice. I just wouldn't even go there. And if you want to, you can slowly start to add just a couple of bites of fruit once a week into your diet and look to see if it increases the depressive stuff. If it does, you got to knock that off. Now, the goal here is to eventually have it so that you can drink fruit juice and eat fruit like a normal person, but that's going to take a while. Don't force it. Just maintain the discipline. I'm very proud of you, Shirley, for taking my advice and hanging fire, baby. That's how we... Welcome back. 866-582-9933. That's the number to call. If you're listening to the podcast, want more information, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. One more time, 855-347-3696. From California to South Carolina, we're going to talk to Claire from South Carolina now. Hey, Claire, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hello.
Hello, Claire. What's going on, girl?
Well, I'm wanting to know now what to do about the knee because I've had 4 of the joint fluid therapy. I've got 1 more to go, and my the right knee still swells. And it hurts, and I'm not putting the weight on it that much. I'm on crutches and a walker, but I wanted to know, what more do you recommend besides the joint bone and, the bone and joint pack and the X radicals? And,
all right, So what do you have and what therapies have you done? So you have a meniscus tear. You have a tear in your meniscus. Is that correct?
Yes, and it happened about 2 years ago, and they sent me to, the doctor sent me to physical therapy, and I got along fine. Then last year it started up again, so they started just giving me cortisone shots, and I've had, 4. Then one morning I could not walk on my right knee.
Yeah.
So he suggested this joint fluid therapy. If it does not work, he says, I need to get the surgery and have a new knee because he cannot do the operation for the meniscus tear because of the arthritis. Arthritis set in the last 4 months. It was a remarkably difference it showed in the X-ray and the MRI in the past 4 months.
Well,
so,
you know what caused that?
Not having the right minerals, or
no,
what?
the cortisone shots. It was the cortisone shots that accelerated the genesis of the arthritic condition. You didn't have bad arthritis in the knees before the cortisone shots, right?
And my nephew is a doctor, and he understands this, and he believes both ways. But anyway, here I am.
Yeah,
I want you to know what else I can do. How many more glucogel can I take? I'm taking
all right. So look, all right. So here's the difference. Did they tell you, or did anybody look to see whether the meniscus was completely torn off or whether it was just a partial tear? Did anybody tell you that?
No, but they thought it was a partial tear.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they said 2 years ago, and then it started up again, and the cortisone shots worked.
Well, the cortisone shots worked, but that's like taking aspirin for a headache. I mean, it doesn't fix the problem. It just makes the pain go away. It's like taking Novocaine for, a toothache. Well, you can't feel the tooth anymore. That doesn't mean there still isn't decay there. You just can't feel it. So that's how the cortisone works. It numbs everything down, decreases inflammation so that you don't really feel what's happening. It's entirely possible that years ago it was a partial tear in the meniscus, but then because they didn't do anything to strengthen the joint, because they don't know how to do that, the meniscus tore all the way. And when it tore all the way, that's why you've been in more pain, and then they give you cortisone shots, and the cortisone shots accelerate the genesis of an arthritic condition, and now you're in the crap can. I mean, you're in the crap can because you took the wrong dog to the hunt. So how long have you been doing? So tell me, please, what's your height and your body weight?
I am 5'5.5", and I weigh like 165.
Okay, very good. 165. And how old are you?
71. I was
Okay.
a school teacher for years, and I'm a musician, and I've been active, but yet I failed teaching school and injured my spine and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm a young 71. I'm not an old 71, but I feel old now.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. What's your instrument of choice, by the way?
Oh, piano. I majored in piano.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. All right. So now at 165 pounds, how many glucogel have you been taking?
I've been taking 15 a day, 3 times a day.
And for how many months?
No, just 2 weeks.
Oh, just for 2 weeks. Okay, good. And what about the white liquid calcium? How much of that are you taking?
Twice a day.
1 ounce twice a day?
No, 2 ounces.
So you take 4 ounces a day. You fill that thing all the way to the top?
Yes.
So you're going through 4 bottles a month, or you don't know? You've only been doing it for 2 weeks, right?
I haven't had it for 2 weeks, correct.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, very good.
I haven't been anywhere for, 2.5 months. And I went to a party. I went out to eat. I was shopped for the first time Wednesday, had a blast. And I have taken a terrible setback.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, good.
Okay.
So, the game is afoot and we need to do something. But I want to ask you a simple question here, Claire. Have you ever messed around with gardening? You ever done any of that down in South Carolina?
Yes.
All right. Well, if you planted a tomato seed 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't expect to be eating a tomato now, right?
No, in fact, we have some planted out there.
Well, all right. So listen, your body heals itself in its own time and its own, its own season, right? However, it takes a lot more energy and time for your body to fix something than it does just to go in there with a drug and medicate things into submission, right? So what we're up to here is healing, And healing is a process. It's not an event. It's something that unfolds itself over time. The basic rule of thumb for a condition that's as bad as yours is, and you've got it bad. You've got it bad, Claire. I mean, I still believe this is fixable. I still believe that even though your situation is bad, that you are still a candidate for your body being able to support and promote its own structure and function of its joints. I do believe that that's possible. However, it ain't going to take 2 weeks. The recommendation for you, before you judge our program up or down, you just need to understand it's the same thing as growing a tomato. We need to be reasonable here. It's 90 days. So you need to stay with our program for 90 days, 90 days. That's 3 months. That's 12 weeks. And if after 12 weeks there's zero difference in your experience of your pain, then I would say give it up. This isn't going to work for you, and you are one of the rare people that this has gone beyond the ability of the body to fix. But I don't think that. But you're not looking at this, you need to look at your body healing itself the same way that you would look at growing a tomato plant. It takes time. Doesn't take forever. But 90 days is our basic, time frame inside of which to experience a noticeable, measurable, positive change. Now, once you get a noticeable, measurable, positive change, then it's only a matter of time until the body, works it out 100% or 90% or 80%, however much it's going to work it out. So you just need to hang fire and stick with the program and give your body a chance to fix it. However, Claire, there's 10 other things that you can do in order to move this along faster. There's 10 other things that you can do, and I don't know if you're doing it or not, but here's the drill. In addition to taking the nutritional supplements appropriately, and you also need to stop eating food that's hurting the joints. There are 10 foods that if you continue to eat them, they will hurt the joint. And so you take 2 steps forward with the nutrients and 2 steps backwards with the food. You're not ever going to get better. It's like, peeing into the wind. It's just an unpleasant experience. So have you cleaned up your diet and eliminated the 10 bad foods?
Trying to eliminate the sugar.
Well, sugar is not one of our 10 bad foods.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I thought the sugar would eat up the joint.
No, who told you that? The MD? No,
I thought I read that.
Yeah, well, you can read a lot of things, especially if Dr. Oz wrote it, and they're all wrong. So, who brought you into longevity? Who told you about us?
Believe it or not, there is this nutritionist or a New Age person I've been in touch with that's helped me that can read my body in Colorado. In Boulder, Colorado. Her name is Bo Henson.
And she told you about longevity?
She is the one, and she's the one that says you need to get on the internet and look up Dr. Joel Wallach and get his stuff.
Okay,
she
great.
Can look at my body and tell me what to do.
I get it. You got to love that. All right, so here's what I want you to do. One more step. I want you please to visit my website, and my website is fireyourmdnow.com. FireYourM like Mary, D like David, now.com. FireYourMDnow.com. And on the front page of that website, there's a little link to click on to subscribe to my free monthly newsletter. All right? It's free. You just click on the link, give your email address, and life is good. And once you subscribe to my newsletter, you're directed to a page that has a document called Good Food, Bad Food. I want you to download that to your computer, print it up, and there are 10 foods on the bad food list, 10 of them. You need to stop eating each of those foods as soon as is humanly possible. Once you eliminate those 10 bad foods from your diet, you will dramatically increase the effectiveness of the nutrients, and you will speed this up. It's kind of like if we were to go back to that tomato metaphor. If you were to plant 2 tomato plants and one of them you give Miracle Grow to and the other one you don't, the one that has Miracle Grow is going to grow faster and bigger and stronger. It has to. Well, it's the same way with your body. When you stop eating food that's hurting it and start eating food that's helping it, it maximizes the effectiveness of the nutritional supplement program. So I think that plus a little more time is the only missing piece of the puzzle here for you, Claire. You know, we need to be reality-based here. This isn't an overnight, sensational, miraculous miracle cure. This is supporting and promoting your body's ability to fix itself. That takes time, but you just need to give it a little more time and clean up your diet. So visit the website, download that document, stop eating the 10 bad foods, and into the bargain here. See, one of the benefits of doing a holistic health program is once you stop the bad stuff and you nutrify your body, well, son of a gun, a lot of things start to brighten up. So as you go downstream here, week after week after week, look to see, in addition to how your knee feels, how's your energy and your mood and your sleep and your appetite and your skin and everything, because this is not specifically a knee recovery program. It's a Claire recovery program. This is holistic down to its bones. And the intention here is to eliminate from your diet food that hurts your body while providing to your body in the supplements the raw materials that your body needs to optimize and maximize its health. When you put those two together, it is a recipe for success. Claire, you're going to love how you feel. Clean your diet up. Dial it in. Give yourself a little more time. Call me back every 3 weeks for the report. I will look forward to it. Thank you so much for the call. Now go out there and get her done. That's fireyourmdnow.com, folks. Click on the link for the newsletter. It's free. And then we will get, for free, the good food, bad food list, and that's going to change your life. Rock and roll's in my blood. Got into my blood more last night. That was pretty great. Watching my old idols get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, how great was rock and roll back in the 70s and the 80s? I mean, how great was it? It's not the same now. I don't care. It's not a generational thing, and I'm not being snobby. There just aren't any bands now that are even come close to what the Rolling Stones or the Beatles did, or Yes, or, Heart, or anybody. I mean, I don't know what was going on. Well, I think I do know what was going on in the 60s. I think that had a lot to do with everything. Just a gigantic creative burst. Too bad it wasn't grounded in holistic medical nutrition. Because just by stopping eating the wrong foods and giving your body the right stuff every day, you're going to be able to weather the storms of life with grace. Now, there is a certain amount of stress that's going to break anybody. Even Superman, right? Kryptonite, that's going to get him. I don't care how strong the building is. If you apply enough stress and enough pressure to the support beams, it's going to collapse. Right? There's a bomb that's going to blow up anything, no matter how strong it is. There's a certain amount of stress that will topple even the Roman Empire. But, for all intents and purposes, for normal day-to-day stuff, just providing your body with the fundamental raw materials it needs to optimize its health, I mean, that's not a bad idea. How can that be a bad idea? Not only is it not a bad idea, it is a most excellent idea. You're going to love how you feel, folks. You have been cajoled and capitulated and lied to by the pharmaceutical industry into believing that the human body is just a machine, and when I'm sick, my only recourse is to take a drug, and then die. That's how it is. That's what we've been taught, and it's nonsense. Let's go to Montana now, see what's happening with Dean. Hey, Dean, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Doc. I enjoyed your lecture when you were here, and my wife has recently been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism.
Hyper, like too much, or hypo?
Hyper.
Oh, hyper. That's rare. It's rare to have a hyperthyroid. Are you a subscriber to my online health recovery program?
I am not, no.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little shout-out for that. It's for $17 a month. You can cancel at any time. It's $170 for a year. You save $34. And as a subscriber, you don't have to be a longevity member, by the way. Anybody can subscribe to it. But as a subscriber, you have access right now. We have 51 hours of archived health information, 51 hours of archived health information, and 8 hours of archived Introduction to Longevity webinars that you can use to help to build your longevity business and show this message to people, even if you're not interested in making more money, just by showing people the light of medical nutrition. It's an excellent tool. I did a really good webinar, if I do say so myself, on thyroid function, and it's right there in the archives. So it might behoove you just to pony up $17, even just for 1 month, go into the archives and cherry pick the data that you want in order to increase your knowledge base here. But the short answer to your question is, your wife needs to eat cruciferous vegetables, and a lot of them. She needs to eat broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant, Brussels sprouts, and spinach. She needs to add those foods to her diet because those foods contain a phytochemical which suppresses thyroid function, which is appropriate in her case. We need to knock down her thyroid activity. Another thing that she needs to do is visit a chiropractor. Make sure her head is on her back correctly. The neck should have a nice little curve to it, and if the neck doesn't have a curve to it, or if the curve's going the wrong way, the nerves that come to her thyroid are going to be funky, and all the nutrition in the world won't fix it. So she needs to visit a good chiropractor, have them do a side x-ray of her neck, check for her neck curve, and if the neck curve is not correct, the chiropractor can give her exercises to do. In addition to that, and eating more cruciferous vegetables, if she gets the myrrh oil, M-Y-R-R-H, myrrh oil, and paints it on top of the thyroid 3 times a day, that will also go a long way towards optimizing her thyroid function. And, of course, all of this is built on top of 1 Healthy Start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month and 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Give that a try, Dean. Give it 90 days to judge it. Call me back in about 4 weeks with an update. I'll look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up against it. Hour 2 coming up. Before you know it, stick around.